Hey guys, just finished watching the Bandito Collective Tournament, and I'm calling it the Razorback games. The winner, spoilers, SRPSS, used Razorback as a core unit in the majority of his decks. So I'm kind of interested to see why Razorback is such a versatile and strong unit. So I kind of analyze all of the replays through the quarterfinals, some of which not including the Razorback, just to see what about it makes it so versatile. And it seems to me that it's either a combination of its health, its speed, and its ability to whittle down the remaining health of like a bike model or any remaining squad unit just by pairing it with any anti-vehicle damage. So if you pair it with even a missile squad, that synergy between the anti-vehicle damage and the Razorback just makes it so versatile at answering anything. Um, It'll be interesting to see if this unit requires any changes. Go ahead and let us know down below what you guys think, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace.
3, 2, 1. New objective available. Harvester ready.
Crystals.
Building online. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit offline. Building online.
My life is yours. Kane requires it. His will looms with us.
Unit ready.
For Kane.
Unit offline.
It's Kane's will.
Unit ready.
Attack boys ready to rumble.
So this is the classic. I know Razorback's just come out, so can we really call it classic? But this is the classic setup for Razorback, I think. First heard it from Better Way, but you just spam missile troops because they're just so cost effective, and you get the Razorback out, and this allows you to afford both.
Missile launched. Unit major structural damage received.
Inferno in motion. Boyka rolling out.
Unit ready. Unit offline.
Hey. Advancing. For Kane.
Unit ready.
Thrusters active.
Unit offline.
Its high cost means you have to have something cheap to pair with it that shores up its weaknesses. So that's why it seems like the missiles are such a good choice.
Attack boys ready to rumble.
Unit ready.
We're going to see the combo of missiles plus Razorback. If you look back at that, Razorback hits the bike about 5 times or so. The missiles are going to do enough damage to finish off that bike in tandem. Very good combination.
Nuclear warhead launched. Unit ready.
Flying out.
Unit offline.
The coordinates. Burning rubber.
Unit offline.
For Kane.
Unit ready.
They're rolling out.
Unit offline. Unit ready.
Napalm.
Unit offline.
Our God's playing for Kane.
Unit ready.
Boyka rolling out.
Unit enhanced.
Advanced signal power.
Unit offline.
Kane.
Unit offline.
Plan.
Unit offline. Unit ready.
Missiles on the move.
Unit ready.
Flying out.
Unit offline.
Has been reached.
Nuclear missile launched.
Three, two, one. New objective received.
So Sastique is running the Suzaku APC variant, and our SRPSS is running classic Razorback.
Unit ready.
Ready for action.
Unit ready.
Rifleman ready to move out.
Unit lost.
Marching orders received.
Unit ready.
Rifleman lead the way.
Unit lost.
I'm on it. Ready for action. Moving out. You got it.
Where the first building switch we see is a Talon, and that gives SRPSS all the information he needs to just hard swap to Slingshot. Since he is the second one to transfer, since he's the second one to tech switch, he has the advantage of making the proper counter, and he is very, very far ahead as a result.
Unit enhanced. Unit lost.
I do believe the Talon was a little bit premature from Sestig.
Nuclear weapon launched. Unit ready.
Squad here, sir. Missiles on the move. Yes, Commander.
Unit enhanced. Unit ready.
Ready for action. Copy that. Crystals are
When Sestig lost his Orca early on, it kind of cost him pretty heavily on his economy, and he didn't have the Tiberium to bounce back with a heavy APC response. I think APC is probably going to be the best bet against this Razorback variant, just because the stickiness of the APCs makes it fight most of the units in the deck pretty decently.
Unit lost. Unit ready.
Yes, Commander.
Unit enhanced.
Affirmative.
Missile launched. Unit lost. Switching battlefield control. Three, two, one. New objective available.
Our crystals are calling.
Building online.
Alicia's running a strange MSV variant, but I think it's actually very good. Snipers and missiles are pretty good included in the deck. Gives you a little bit of deck variability, lets you answer bikes. She doesn't really have a cheap unit, so she's forced into a bad matchup early, but as long as you can use the missiles as a blocker, she should be in pretty good shape.
I'm on it.
Unit
If she can get the Sandstorm, the deck will be in very good shape. Sandstorm pretty handily answers everything in SRPSS's deck. So,
building
classic
online.
Razorback, SRPSS's win condition is going to be to contain Alicia to her base and prevent the MSV from setting up with Sandstorms.
I'm on it.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit lost. Nuclear warhead launched.
This chase down right here of the snipers with the two pit bulls guarding is pretty nutty.
Unit lost.
Moving out.
Unit ready.
Support base.
Burning rubber.
Unit ready.
We're always watching.
Green light.
I'm on it.
Unit ready.
Moving out.
SRPSS coming out with the Predator. I think this is the correct application of it. Using it to sustain some fire and to clear up these pit bulls. They're going to be the primary threat to his Razorback, especially if they're boosted by the MSV.
Unit ready.
It also has the added bonus of forcing those MLRSs, which I believe ultimately gimp Alicia's chances of winning late.
Unit lost.
Packing up. Let's set up.
Warhead cancel. Nuclear missile launched.
Moving out.
Unit lost.
Are calling.
Unit ready.
Packing up. Pitbull ready to race. Burning rubber. Green light. You the juice.
Unit lost. Unit ready.
Pitbull looking for action. Let's set up. Moving out. Packing up. Burning rubber.
Unit ready.
Let's set up.
Unit lost.
I think those MLRSs should have been sacrificed a bit earlier. Oh, I really like this. So it's a triple pitbull spam. Answers all of the air units. I think if Alicia can get on the pads and just charge just enough, she might be able to flip it. But unfortunately not. She falls behind. Mohawks are just beefy enough.
Launched.
This is an Air Mammoth Razorback variant. Initially, I did not think this is a very good deck idea. I would typically think that you would want to spam a Drone Swarm because it's cheaper and it lets you stall the missile for longer to get to your primary win condition of Mammoth. But I can kind of see the idea behind Razorback since it pairs so nicely with missiles. It just seems to flow organically. So on these tech favored maps, it seems like it's an okay choice. Alicia is aggressively attacking these double harvester, so she must think that maybe she can win late game. She's not charging the missile. I think that might be a mistake here, just because if the game goes on long, her deck actually is quite vulnerable to the Mammoth. The Mammoth can push through all of the weak answers that she has, infantry, bikes, and run down the artillery, particularly with the Jackson boost. So missiles not charging yet. Game's at 120. Double harvester in favor of SRPSS. This is something I've thought about. I think maybe it is more correct to transition to double harvester if you're, especially on faraway maps where it's hard to harass the enemy's harvester. It's better to early transition to double harvester if you believe that your win condition is to win late game with tech. Alicia pulls off a little bit early with the artillery. I think it's okay if she sacrifices it. It's really not going to be good in this matchup. I think it's pretty obvious that SRPSS is running a Mammoth deck just based off of the units we've seen, but maybe not actually. This is another facet of the deck I think that's pretty cool. So this is probably a surprise. The only tell that was given about this Mammoth was a double harvester. The deck is actually pretty much the same as the other variants, except there's a Hammerhead, which you're not going to be building necessarily right away, and there's a Mammoth instead of like a Predator. So he's not really giving away his hand as much unless you think about why is he building double harvester? Why is he going in that double harvester? Unless it's like a misclick or something. I think SRPSS is playing this pretty well. See how he's kind of gimping these bike squads? Generally, like if you want to deal with Mammoth, you need to spam cheap units like Laser Drone or bikes and kind of just repel the Mammoth as long as possible and try and come ahead economically.
Attack bike ready to roll. Roaming for reaches. No problem. For Kane. Biker rolling out.
Nuclear weapon launched.
Shut the enemy down.
Field control. Objective available.
Alicia bringing a Jade deck, kind of atypical for her. It seems like a vanilla variant of Jade using the wheels to kind of get value early on and stay low in the costs. SRPSS running the classic Razorback deck again, and I think it performs very strongly against Jade, particularly the Chem Warriors. You can gun them down. The fact that you need 7 bike missiles to kill a Razorback, or a full Phantom Volley plus a little bit of bike damage or missile chip damage, means the Razorback is pretty much free to run in with impunity and gun down those Chem Warriors. So I think Jade's win condition in this particular matchup is to win the first nuke and then just mindlessly catalyst missile down the base. It's just going to be really hard to economically come ahead with a missile spam plus Razorback combo, edging out most of, if not all of, the typical Jade deck meta units. Going after that Harvester for Alicia was pretty costly, I think, and just losing these Chem Warriors for free to the Razorbacks is pretty much a death knell. As we can see here, the Razorback is able to cleanly chase these Chem Warriors into 2 bike squadrons and easily clean them up without dying. And that's really all you need to happen to protect your missile squads and allow them to finish off the bikes. It would be interesting to see how Alicia would respond to this matchup now that she knows that 2 full bike volleys do not clear Razorback. Maybe she would play a little bit differently. Maybe we wouldn't see the aggression, the heavy aggression with the Chem Warriors, leaving them unprotected. Okay, SRPSS against Suzaku. First game in the series, Seth. We're seeing Seth. So is Suzaku going aggro? No, he is not. He's going aggro. Okay, he's going aggro, but with Tick Tank. Okay, so this map, I think the win condition for this map is kind of misunderstood. You generally want to stay as cheap as possible and try and get as much value as you can in order to take control of the field. And I think whoever can manage to take control of the field, regardless of whoever wins the missile, is going to be in a very good position to win, because you'll be able to defend your Harvester and your economy will double. So if you cannot get your Harvester out on the field, that is pretty much going to determine whether or not you'll win this map. So Suzaku's deck overall appears a bit cheaper. It's not running the Fanatics. The Militant wheels allows him to kind of transition back and forth and make a little bit extra money on the side here. He's already transitioned, so he's up a barracks. He's up 2. He's got the same amount of value on the field as far as units, but he's got a better tank fighting spread. Gonna have to pull back here, as he may actually lose tempo against his Fanatic plus. So Suzaku is going to get a very beautiful double volley on this Scorpion tank. He's going to chase it and unfortunately lose more of his bike squadrons and fall behind on tempo. However, the extra cost of these Fanatics is going to set SRPSS back enough where Suzaku's economy allows him to edge out just enough money to get a Harvester. And with that Harvester, he's going to snowball an advantage despite losing the first missile. So this is the key point of the game. If SRPSS can kill the Harvester or transition into his own Harvester and defend it, he will be fine, and he has a chance of getting the second missile. However, if he cannot pressure Suzaku's Harvester, Suzaku will gain complete control of the field and will be uncontestable. At this point, it's pretty clear that Suzaku's tempo has pushed SRPSS completely off the field. There's no way he's going to be able to defend a Harvester. He has double the income and growing because he's able to protect his units, and so his economy is racking up, whereas SRPSS is forced to just throw away units and lose over time.
Unit ready.
Clear as mine. Scorpion movement, a great plan unfolds.
Unit ready.
Laser squad, weapons charged.
Unit offline.
Jade!
Unit offline. Unit ready.
Has been reached.
Unit offline. Missile cancelled. Unit ready.
Lasers for the Brotherhood.
Unit ready. Warhead launched.
We're going to see Kane. I like it. I like it. This is a great map for Kane. Kane's going to get perfect coverage of both pads. And as long as you can maintain control of that central tile, you can do some pretty cool flips if you're facing like a heavy War Factory type decks. So if SRPSS keeps that in mind, he might be able to like deny the Kane spawn, or he might not leverage War Factory units as much, just so he doesn't get out-tempoed in that regard. But it's going to require Suzaku to bank a lot of Tiberium to do it, so we'll see how it plays out.
Unit ready. Unit offline. Unit ready.
Position.
Probably going to see a transition to Razorback here,
Unit ready.
is my guess. Yep, there's the Razorback. Might have been a little bit early. Suzaku unfortunately does not have a good early answer to Razorback. He's playing his vanilla Kane Tick Tank deck. It's not very vanilla at all, though. Slingshot's going to clean up this air. Pretty much answers half of Suzaku's deck for free. This is a great map for Slingshot as well. So it's going to be a very, I think it's going to be a very hard game for Suzaku.
Missile launched.
Taking position.
Major structural damage received.
Phantom in the air. Venom flying out.
Unit ready.
The Brotherhood is
Phantom flying out.
advancing. No stopping.
Carefully now. Coordinates set.
Unit offline.
Taking position. Fighters, arm up. For the crystals.
Unit offline.
Taking position.
Unit ready.
I like that he's staying cheap here, answering the
Position.
missile squads. Obelisk coming out. Will he micro it onto the Slingshot? He will. Very nice. Gonna clean up here. I think Suzaku has pretty good control of this. The Phantom is gonna clean up and block this Slingshot. Doesn't matter. Missiles going underneath. Obelisk and Venom up top. Clear the top pads. Missile comfortably goes to Suzaku. But Suzaku is pushed back now. SRPSS has regained control.
Unit ready.
Venom flying out.
As he desires. Taking position.
Unit offline.
Lasers move for the Brotherhood.
Unit ready.
Boost onto the Harvester from SRPSS is going to secure his economic advantage. So SRPSS is in pretty good shape here. We're probably not going to see another Obelisk in time. At least not in tandem with the units required to fight this back. So that's actually a really good Harvester aggression, I think. Slingshot going to comfortably hold top pad.
Phantom flying out.
We're going to flip the missile here. Wow, very good flip. SRPSS takes the game. Razorback speed, kind of fast, honestly.
Field control.
Sneaks onto that pad, flips it at the last second.
Three, two, one. New objective received.
Moving out! Riflemen ready to move out!
Harvester ready.
Harvest.
Double harvester. Okay, so Suzaku probably knows something's up here.
Unit
Looks like
ready.
he's going to start charging. Not sure what that extra harvester move there was. Pretty interesting.
Unit ready.
Defender's advantage is going to let him clear this back pad pretty easily. Missile troops are going down to harass this harvester.
Building online. Unit ready. Unit lost.
I think this is, overall, this is okay from Suzaku. Could charge a little bit more. The double harvester means he is on the clock.
Unit ready.
We're at 51 seconds, no missile fire. Missile is still another 15 seconds away from firing at least. So Suzaku's going to open up with Talons with the first tech switch.
Unit ready.
And SRPSS really only has Hammerhead to answer that. It's very expensive, so I think Suzaku's deck is actually favored, provided Suzaku is aggressively charging the pads. But there just wasn't enough charging, I think, early on against this double harvester scout.
Warhead cancelled. Nuclear weapon launched. Unit lost.
If you scout double harvester, you have to go double harvester yourself if your win condition is the tech, or you have to end the game as soon as possible. That's just the current nature of tech. So unfortunately, I think because this game is dragged on to 150 now, it's just improbable that Suzaku can come back.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit ready.
Crystals, another hit!
Unit lost.
I can't pull up!
Unit lost.
Ready to race.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Flight check complete.
Not gonna make it.
Unit lost.
You got it. Orca ready to hunt.
Defense online.
Flying out. Moving up. Another hit! Burning rubber.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
Scouting ahead. Brothers on.
Unit
Gonna clean up that
lost.
Orca. 2 hammerhead shots. What the heck was that? Did anyone else see that? The hammerhead shot at the Talon without facing it.
Unit lost.
That is some foul play right there.
Cancelled.
That is some foul play.
Launched.
So
Ready.
SRPSS gonna easily get that missile
Damage received.
because of some jank garbage. Wow.
Unit lost. Unit ready.
Cue the juice.
Unit ready.
Ready for action.
Unit lost.
Got it.
Unit ready.
Orca ready to hunt.
Unit lost.
I'm on it.
Unit ready.
Brothers on.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit ready.
Brothers on.
Unit lost. Unit ready.
Flight check complete.
Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit ready.
Scouting ahead.
Unit lost.
On my way. Flying out. Scouting ahead.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit lost. Nuclear missile launched.
Battlefield control. Three, two, one. New mission received.
Carefully now.
SRPSS getting that fast harvester move. Suzaku doesn't know the secret. He's going a long way with his harvester. Loses 5 Tiberium.
Building online.
Let's go.
Unit ready.
Militia formed. Taking position.
Unit ready. Unit offline.
Double missiles. Good to keep 2 missile squads out. He's going to try and get a little bit of chip damage on these rifles. Transition to his signature Razorback for this tournament. We're going to see a stealth tank. That is the counter to Razorback. It's going to clean up that Razorback, flip the missile. First missile easily going to Suzaku. Really good timing. I think this is the this is what you have to do to counter the Razorback timing.
Taking position.
When you get an early Razorback out like this, it's kind of an all-in move. Like you're committing all of your economy early game to do it. You haven't developed the Tiberium to be like changing units back and forth. So if you don't have the missile squads to back up that Razorback, the stealth tank is a really good answer.
Unit ready.
Stay quiet.
So the Razorback is actually killing this Giga from like a fifth of its HP remaining. Now it is boosted.
Warning. Our base is under attack. Unit ready.
Stealth tank.
Boosts the stealth tank to try and chase down that Razorback. SRPSS dancing it very masterfully through his missile troops and protecting it. I think this is the strength of the Razorback, though. Once you get to this point where you can kind of dance it through your cheap missile curtain, which is very difficult to push back.
Unit ready. Nuclear weapon launched. Unit ready. Major structural damage received.
Shadows.
Unit offline.
Fort Kane.
Unit ready. Unit offline.
The Giga is kind of questionable. He doesn't really have an answer as a problem to these. I think the Giga was probably the misplay. Even though it answers the Predators, he's just not going to be able to defend it. The Razorback plus missile squad is just pushing him back. He just doesn't have the money anymore. Double Predator. This is why the Predators exist in the deck, right? They answer stealth tank pretty well. Their beefiness allows them to do big damage to the stealth tank and kind of contest. Very cool tournament. Glad to see the Razorback seeing some competitive play, and hope to see more of it. Catch you all on the flip side. Peace.